Hi, I am Sangeeta, Assistant Professor in Physics, Auxilium College of Arts and Science, Raghunathapuram. This video explains the concept of Colpitt's oscillator. Before that, we have to learn what is feedback system and what is oscillator. Feedback system, the process of injecting a fraction of output back to the input is called feedback. It is classified into two types, positive feedback and negative feedback. Positive feedback, when the feedback signal is in phase with the input signal and thus aids it, it is called positive feedback. Here the output of feedback network is in phase with the input signal, so it is called positive feedback system. And negative feedback, when the feedback signal is out of phase with the input signal and thus opposes it, it is called negative feedback. Next we move to the concept of oscillator. The transistor amplifier with a proper positive feedback network can act as oscillator. Oscillator is a device which is used to generate a desired frequency from few hertz to some megahertz. For example, in television and radio receivers, in the tuning process, the oscillators are used to generate a high frequency. Nowadays, the oscillators are widely used in many electronic components like computers and radar, etc. This is the block diagram of oscillators. This consists of positive feedback network and amplifier and oscillatory circuits. This is the essential components of oscillators. Next, the classification of oscillator. These are classified into many types. The based on the concept of output waveform, it is classified into sinusoidal oscillator and non-sinusoidal oscillator. Sinusoidal oscillator output waveform is a sine wave and non-sinusoidal oscillator output wave is in sawtooth wave, ramp wave, square wave, etc. And this is the types of transistor oscillators. It is a tuned oscillator, Colpitt's oscillator, Wien bridge oscillator, phase shift oscillator and crystal oscillator and Colpitt's oscillator. This is LC type of oscillator and this was invented by the scientist Edwin H. Colpitt in the year 1918. Circuit construction. This circuit constructed with two capacitors C1 and C2. This is parallelly connected with common inductor L. And this acts as the tank circuit of the system. Circuit operation. When the circuit is turned on, the capacitor C1 and C2 is charged and this discharged through the inductor L with the setting of frequency F is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi root of L into C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. The voltage of amplifier appears across the capacitor C1 and the feedback voltage appears across C2. This feedback voltage is out of phase with the voltage of C1. A phase shift is produced by the amplifier and further phase shift 180 degrees produced by the C1 C2 L voltage divider. In this way, the feedback signal is properly phased to produce a continuous undamped oscillation. Next, the advantages of Colpitt's oscillator. The main advantage of Colpitt's oscillator is used to generate a pure sinusoidal wave and it has wide operation range from 1 to 60 megahertz. Disadvantage of Colpitt's oscillator. The main disadvantage is hard to construct and whenever the value of capacitor change, it becomes too difficult to adjust the feedback. Because of the circuit bulkiness, the oscillator's cost also increases. Thank you.